Hey guys, this is Andy McCann here with CrossFit Garage Podcast, which I am changing the name. Right now, the name of the podcast is CF, so CrossFit, CF Garage with Andy McCann. So I will probably be changing the name of the podcast to Fitness, Food, and Finance, since that's what we're trying to help you with. It would just make sense to name it what it is. So anyway, I am here to try to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. We do a lot of fitness because we have a gym. We talk some food because, man, if you don't mess with your food, then a lot of the things you try to do just aren't really going to work so well. And then finances. Why do I pair that up? It seems like it would have nothing to do with it. Because of this. If you are going to live for a very long time because you now have great fitness and you're eating really well, you're just healthy and you're harder to kill, then you're going to want to have money for the end of your life. Otherwise, you're just a drain and a burden on somebody else, which is not great. So we want to pair those together. We want the healthy side of it, but we want the money side of it. So probably the biggest thing I could tell you on that, we're not going in money today, but actually maybe we will do a little bit. What I would tell you is buy some Bitcoin, baby. Anyway, I think I told you guys let me go back and look when that episode was. Let me put you on pause. All right. Through the magic of technology, we are back. So on May 26th, 2023, I said, hey, you should probably buy some Bitcoin. So if we go back, oh my gosh, this is going to be perfect. Look at this. So I'm looking at a chart right now. Bitcoin is at $70,000 for one coin. You can buy individual units of a coin called Satoshis. I think it's 100,000 or 100 million. I don't know. It's a big number of Satoshis that make up a Bitcoin. But the all-time high ever was back in somewhere maybe like 2021, and it was $73,000. So one of the lowest points in a long time, so it hit a big trough, was back in 2023. So in May, where is May? There it is. May 2023-ish, we're at basically $25,000 a coin. So I had been, and actually when I made this video, it was probably before that, right? So I was telling people to buy Bitcoin back at the lowest spot of $16,000 a coin. Then later on in a podcast with you guys at $25,000 a coin, and it's up to $70,000. So had you heard that and said, Ash, I don't even know. So I've got a group of Georgia Tech guys, or there's 5 of us, and I told them, hey, buy some Bitcoin. It's pretty cheap right now. You're going to want something. You should just buy it. And they're like, I don't get it. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you don't get it. It's like, do you get gold and silver? What do you even do with gold and silver? But yet people buy gold and silver. Why? I don't know. It's a store of value. Just spend $100. Had they spent $100, let's say it's almost tripled. So it's $300 they would have, right? Free money. So well, not free money, but it's an investment. Anyway, there's my advice on the money side is buy Bitcoin. This podcast right now has nothing to do with Bitcoin. Me and rabbit holes. Okay, so what are we actually going to talk about today? What we're really going to go down the road of is sort of this idea, but bigger is, hey, I am preparing my life and I'm putting things together and I want to be anti-fragile. I want to be stable. I want to be resilient. What do I do? Inside of that, you might find yourself in the world, there's a group of people called preppers, and I'm not talking about zombie people, I'm talking about those that just want to be smart about what they do. So there's an idea of 1 is none and 2 is 1, right? So if it's got one use, it's probably not good. If you only bought one of it, it's probably not good. But if there's 2 uses for the same thing, great. Like, hey, I have a shovel, I can dig with it and I can hit zombies with it. I don't know, whatever. So that's 2 uses, right? But if I only have one shovel, it's probably not great. I should probably have a second shovel. Okay. That's the idea. It's just being resilient. One way you can be resilient is your health and fitness. The other is your finances, right? So that's part of it. But really the question then becomes, I know you guys are on this path. You're like, Andy, I'm on this path of being resilient. I am preparing myself for future. How do I get other people on this journey? Well, the answer is it is tough. I lived this life for the last 17-ish years, and I have a hard time getting my own family, not my children as well as my extended family. The answer is I don't really know, but I'm going to give you some options and the things that I think would work well. And I can tell you the stuff that definitely doesn't work. The other day we talked about this bell-shaped curve, so I'm going to give you some things that don't work at all. I can guarantee it. And then under the curve, these may help you out. Okay. So the big question here then is, I am getting healthy and fit. How do I get my spouse? How do I get my children? How do I get my friends, my family on board on the idea of if we don't do something, then we're doing nothing. And if we do nothing, then we're probably going to die early. So weirdly, the number one cause, if you wrap up a lot of the issues why people here in America are dying, it really comes down to eating like a dumbass. So either it's obesity or they're eating food that's not really food and they're undernutriented, whatever. In other countries, they will call like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, those type of diseases, they'll actually call it a type 3 diabetes. Is it? I don't know. I don't really understand all that. What I am saying is that not all food is created equal and not all information given to you is created equal. It is weird. I have, for good or ill, have a bad story with our very first kid going to the pediatrician. When you go into the pediatrician, we had a pediatrician fire us because I asked too many questions. I'm like, seriously, what the blank? This is the first baby I've ever had. I'm an idiot parent. I'm still an idiot parent. But back then, I was definitely an idiot parent. I have no idea what's going on. I'm trying to educate myself. I'm reading books. The internet has just come out. I'm reading the internet going, what is going on in here? What message is being brought to us? What stuff is real? What stuff is fake? I'm asking too many questions. There is a history in our family of not reacting well to some shots. And so Olivia had some sort of reaction, and I asked the pediatrician, and the pediatrician said, I kid you not, Dr. Roy from Roswell Pediatrics, thank you. I'm not mad at you because you put us on a health track that has been great. I don't even have a doctor. I don't have a primary doctor. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying I don't. He fired us. He said, hey, if you're going to be those type of parents, you can leave. I walked out the door with Verity and Olivia, got in the car. I was like, I don't even know what he means, those type of parents. And that's when Verity clued me into there's a whole world of people who are not into shots. And I could care less, really. But when it comes down to your own kid having a real reaction, I'm super concerned. And the doctor kicked us out because I asked too many questions. That's super dumb. What the hell? You should have answered the questions. But anyway, thank you, Dr. Roy, because you put us down a track of health and fitness that I probably never would have got on had you not thrown me down the rabbit hole. So thank you. Sometimes when life gives you lemons, at least it gave you something, right? So I have lemons. Anyway, what you should do is ask questions. I know it didn't work out with the doctor because the doctor had too much information. They were bound up in his own advice and his own theories and his own ideas and pay probably. But I will say that asking questions is probably the best way to go. And the worst way to go is to tell somebody, no, you're wrong, you're fired. So don't do that. The other bad thing to do is to sit down at the dining room table or dinner table, kitchen table, whatever, and go, hey family, let's have a talk. Little Tina, you're fat. You need to stop eating. Little Tommy, you need, I don't know, sloth. You need to exercise. There's probably a better way to do it than that as well. That is bad. Don't call somebody out right from calling them out. Don't say it right in their face. I am a 50-year-old man, and I know I don't react the same way as everybody else. I think that's fine. I'm learning my way. But saying truth in front of people sometimes just makes you a dick. So don't be a dick. Come up with another way to say the truth. I think the better way is to ask them questions. And I'm going to go down a weird rabbit hole because I do an expert counsel bit for the Survival Podcast. I got it pulled up here. This is a YouTube and a podcast episode, so you can watch it or you can just listen to it. I prefer podcasts, but Levi said, Dad, you're an idiot. You should be recording them. And then Jamie Thomas said, if you put it on YouTube, I would actually listen to them because I do a lot more YouTube. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's easy. I just hit record. So why not do, this is a great example of one is none and two is one. So I have the ability to do this twice with only doing it once. So yeah, let's do it. It takes no extra effort. Well, it does. I have to rip out the audio through, whatever. But it takes mere seconds. So I do a little bit for the Survival Podcast with Jack Spirko. I love this guy. He preaches how to live a good life when times are bad or even if they're not. And a lot of it is just like, hey, it's going to be gardening, doing some chickens, being smart with your money. So it's not zombies, although it sounds like that. It's not. It's really cool. Actually, you can do really cool things. If you look at his side right here, the sponsors that he's got, he does have bulk ammo. So it is Survival Podcast. Actually, I need to buy some bulk ammo. fun story. Little segue. Some of you guys are going bah right now. I've got chickens, and when you have chickens and you raise your own chickens and you hatch your own chickens, 50% of the time when you hatch an egg, it's going to be a rooster, and roosters don't lay eggs. And you need 10 hens for every one rooster because they mate a lot. And the roosters dig their little talons into their back to hold on, and it hurts the hens, and so they're losing feathers. I got too many roosters. I have almost like one rooster for every 2 hens, and that's not good. So I need to harvest some roosters. You either pick them up at night and put them in a cage and then actually do all the harvesting, but I'm running out of time. And I have too many. I hatched them at a weird time that I thought would be better for the heat so that the chicks could stay alive outside without me putting on heat lamps. But I forgot that this is a tough time for me. So I have too many roosters now. It's been 6 months. They're laying eggs and the roosters are trying to mate, and I need to get rid of some. So I have some 22 cartridges that are subsonic. So most of the time they just pack grains inside the casing, and then you shoot it and you hear a and that's sometimes the bullet breaking the sound barrier, right? Or it's I guess it is because it's a sonic, right? Subsonic. So sonic would be the sound barrier. Let me double check that because I may be being an idiot right now. Awesome. I'm not too stupid, just mostly stupid. So I love the internet. You don't have to be the master of everything, but at my fingertips, you have the information available to you. The other day in class, I made reference to the Encyclopedia Britannica. And several people looked at me, cocked their head, and were like, what the hell is that? So it's the internet, but in book format. And you could actually read it and get to the end of it. Anyway, so right here I just looked up sound barrier feet per second. And it's about 1,200 feet per second-ish is the sound barrier. So it says the sound barrier is typically broken when an object travels. It's weird that it doesn't have a specific number. So an object travels at a speed of around 1,060 to 1,200 feet per second, or 343. See, now they're like 343 meters per second. I wonder why it's not. There should be like a very specific sound barrier. So what does it say? At higher elevations it changes. Anyway, so it's about, let's call it 1,000. So here I just looked up what is a subsonic 22 long rifle cartridge, and they said basically they're going to pack it with less than 1,000 feet per second velocity, so they'll put less gunpowder in the casing. Anyway, sorry, it's totally random, a double random. Anyway, this bulkammo.com sells subsonic rounds, and I've got to harvest roosters, so if you're not going to catch them at night, you got to shoot them during the day. And if you use a subsonic round, I was shooting in the backyard. I shot a couple roosters and buried them in the garden. So now at least they're going somewhere and doing something. I just didn't have a chance to process it. But if any of you guys want to learn to process roosters and then take it home and eat it, you're more than welcome to. Our roosters, all of our chickens are free range, so they have a lot more muscle, and that muscle is a lot more firm, and it's just hard. It's not as fun to eat. So if the cannibals ever took over America, us CrossFitters would be okay because we would be very gummy tasting, or our texture would be rough. Well, there's a lot of people that would be super delicious because they're like veal. They're trapped in a cage and they eat crap and never are allowed to move. So their meat is very tender. That's so disgusting. Anyway, so we're safe from the cannibals. Yet another reason to CrossFit. So this guy, Survival Podcast, Jack Spirko, he's got cool sponsors, and some of them, like the bulk ammo I use, Start9 Embassy server I use. So if you want to, it's kind of I know this is not what we want to talk about, but it's just interesting, and so here we go. So Start9 Embassy server, so basically it's a computer that you don't really do computing on. It does its own thing, so thus it's a server. And you can do things like text messaging via this, so you have your own texts. You can, instead of saving your documents into the cloud, this becomes your cloud, because the cloud's not really a cloud, it's just somebody else's computer. If you're into filtered water, he's sponsored by Pubkey Filters, so you can buy stuff from them. They have discount codes for all this. There's K9 training. So anyway, you can see it's not like zombie apocalypse. It's actually things that you might be interested in using. Anyway, I do a bit for him, and somebody asked, hey, in this prepping world, a lot of my prepping friends are kind of like fat and out of shape, yet they've got like food stored up for the end times or whatever. They have guns, and they have a bug out bag, but they're not really healthy or fit. So the first thing that's going to happen is they're probably going to die because they can't do anything with the things that they've got. So they've spent all this money on easy preparations, maybe not easy, but things, rather than taking care of themselves. And the question was, how do I get into their head that maybe they should actually stack health and fitness in their preparation stack. So this going to you is still the same question. How do you tell somebody that you love in your life or that you're around that, I don't know, maybe you should work on your health and fitness? Here's the first thing that I'm going to give you. Don't go to their face and say, hey, you're fat and slow. You should fix that. I think the best thing you could do is go down the road of things they like. So for example that I used in the little bit I did for him, I'm going to use for you guys, is let's just say you've got a buddy who's into prepping, and they're like, yeah, I've got a go bag, which I think everyone should have a go bag. What is a go bag? It's just basically, hey, there's a hurricane coming. Everyone grab that bag that's already packed and let's go. So you want to get out of Dodge quick. I mean, you could see a hurricane coming quite a while, so maybe it's not a big deal, but maybe there's, I don't know, maybe a train derails and spills all this chlorine gas or whatever it was that happened just a little bit ago. And you're like, now I want to get out of Dodge. And the police are driving around going, leave your house right now. So a go bag is a bag you can grab that has stuff to live for like 3 days, right? And it's whatever you think you need. It might be, sorry, coffee break. I should have paused that, but it might be just clothing. It could be money. It could be some food. It could be a handgun. I don't know, whatever you decide you think you need. Anyway, the point is, many of these guys in the prepping world have a go bag. The problem with the go bag is, let's say I can't actually drive my go bag out. Do I have a smaller bag? Usually they do. They would have a backpack that have stuff in. So this is what I told them to do, and I'm going to go down this road for you guys and give you better examples. But here's their first example was, hey, what's in your go bag? So they start talking about their go bag. They're like, well, there's clothes, there's some food, there's some water purification. And if you start thinking about that stuff, like there's a sleeping bag and a tent, possibly, it sounds a whole lot like what somebody would use to hike the Appalachian Trail. So I looked up, what's the average weight of an Appalachian Trail backpack? And it's about 25 pounds, probably a little bit heavier. I think that guy's going pretty light, but 25 pounds. I'm like, okay, so hey, your go bag sounds like it weighs about 25 pounds. When's the last time you put a 25-pound pack on your back and started, like, just walk the trails? Well, never. Whoa, well, hey, would you be interested in doing that? Yeah. Hey, so do you think we should start off with 25 pounds? Or do you think we should start off with something lighter, right? So now you see what we're doing is we're bringing them into an example of something that they actually want to do and they're excited about. And we're going to walk them through that because they care about it. They care about it. So I just did something that you guys are like, I can't believe you just did that. But I paused it so you couldn't see. I don't normally take any drugs or over-the-counter medicine or any of that stuff. Mostly because I don't need to. I'm never really sick. But my neck hurts. I did something the other day. We were doing the heavy power cleans. And I'm not sure what I did. I think I just gripped too hard or I was just too damn awesome. And my neck, not my neck, my traps, I think I finally shrugged. So Erin, she says, I shrug too much. And I tell her I don't shrug enough. So she must have channeled her inner shrug and I shrugged the crap out of my shoulders and my neck hurt. So I took an ibuprofen, an off-brand ibuprofen, right? So do I sometimes violate my own rules? Yes. Why? Because they're just rules. Everything's made to be broken, right? Okay, so this pack. You tell this guy, hey, you got the 25-pound pack. Do you want to go for a distance? Do you want to go hike 10 miles? Do you want to go hike for 20 minutes? Or do you want to hike a specific weight for as long as we can, right? So figure it out. Go put a pack on and go do it. Then they're going to see, oh, man, I don't think I can do this. So another example. I'm racing with Evie. We're out in an adventure race. We're, I don't know, like 5 hours into a race. And I want to tell her so badly, hey, your 50-year-old man is actually like pulling you along this course. You probably should train more if you want to do well in cross country. Because if this is happening here, cross country might not go as well as you expect doing nothing, right? I didn't say anything. Why? Because it never works. And I don't really care how she does in cross country. As long as she's smiling and happy and having fun, I'm actually okay with that. I know she would have more fun winning, but whatever. And I know she'd have more fun being on varsity, but whatever, right? She needs to learn the lesson, and I saved my kids too many times. I think they should put their tongue in the outlet a few times, and that'll probably help them, right? So I didn't say anything. We get in the car, we're driving home. She's like, you know what? I think I should probably jog a bit more when I'm home by myself. I'm like, oh yeah, why's that? She's like, I think you were pushing me around the course a bit. I'm like, oh. So she knew. I didn't need to say it, right? But we're doing something that she liked, and she saw the evidence of what I do every day and what she's doing every day. So we put ourselves together, and she could see the difference. Now, granted, it's adventure racing. I'm really used to it. She's not, so she's learning. So there's a lot of other pieces of the puzzle, but the jogging part was part of it, right? Okay, so let's go back to our everyday lives. Let's say I am a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids. I've got another friend who's a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids. I am now Sandy, because that's Andy with an S, and I CrossFit. Tina does not. How can I tell her, hey, if you don't do something, then it's going to go badly for you, and you're not going to be around for your kids. You should do something. And what is that something, right? I definitely wouldn't say it to her face. Well, I take that back. There are some friends that you've got that you can totally say, hey, look, I found a thing, and I should tell you about this thing, and here's the thing, and you should do this thing, right? Actually, in that case, you tell me, and I will do a special class just for you and your friend, and we will let them see what CrossFit is like. Or we can bring them into class, and I will stay with them and make sure they have a good, easy time, right? But I would maybe say to the friend, hey, why don't we load our 3 kids up into, actually, I should have picked 2. Let's put our 2 kids into a 2-push stroller and go down the green trails that we've got here in Woodstock. The Green Prince Trails or Green Alliance or whatever it's called. Let's go do that. Let's put our kids in a stroller and go walk. I bet you when you do that and you're able to carry on a conversation and she is not, that she is going to find out, wow, Sandy's doing a much better job than me. What is this, right? And if you do it enough times, or you offer to help, oh, you can't pick that up, let me pick that up for you. She's going to see, wow, something that she is doing is allowing her to do more than I can do. What is this? And it's in a world that she cares about. Hey, I have kids, I have to pick them up. There's a kid in a baby carrier thingy, the car seat carrier, and I need to pick that up. Not car seat carrier. What's the one where the little infant is in it, but then you can also clip it into the car seat carrier? I don't know, whatever it's called. It's been too long. You can clip that thing in and you can take it out and put it into a stroller and you're good to go. I do like that idea, but on the bad side, they're like, my kid's strapped into the same thing all the damn time. That probably isn't good. Probably should pick them up and move them around, but whatever. Maybe they already know that. It says that in the warning label. Do not leave your kid in here for 10 hours straight. Okay, so that's an example of just them seeing it. The other one could be, I don't know, let's say I'm a dude at work. And why did I do mom at home and dude at work? Because I'm from the 80s and that's just how it normally rolls off in my head. You could be a woman at work, whatever. I'm Sandy at the office and I've got office mates. And maybe I tell them, hey, look, for lunch, let's go for a walk. Let's eat and walk. And we go for a walk and they're all sweaty out of breath and you're like, hey, I'm fine, right? Or there's a thing happening where, I don't know, they're redoing the IT closet or IT room or whatever. And you're in there lifting and moving and they're like, wow, how are they doing that? So if you can find something that they're interested in and then help out with it. And an easy one is gardening or yard work. Hey, you're doing stuff at your house? Let me come over and help. And they see you moving. They're going to be like, that is interesting. You could wear a CrossFit shirt and be like, hey, I do CrossFit. Actually, this says Star Wars. So I do Star Wars, but I do CrossFit. And I'm out here doing stuff with you. Here's the funny part about yard work and CrossFit. Nothing ever adds up well for yard work. Yard work will always kick your ass. But at least CrossFit allows you to go longer in that ass kicking. And you'll be able to go longer, but you're going to be just as sore. It's so weird. Anyway. So find a thing that they're doing or interested in and invest yourself in it and go along with them. Backpacking, biking, pushing the kids in a stroller, doing something at work, something that's interesting to them. Like, hey, let's play soccer with the kids. An easy one for me has always been when you go to a kid's birthday party. I don't know if they do this anymore. Like, hey, we're doing a trampoline party or a whatever, bouncy house party. As a dad, I would be out there chasing kids and doing fun stuff with them. And other dads are like, well, thank you for doing that because I'm tired. Or I am too out of shape to do anything. I can't do anything like that. I mean, sucks, right? And so some of them would ask, hey, what do you do? Even now, I get this more often. And Tyler, thank you for saying it. He said, and guys my age will say it. They're like, he said, you have what I want. You're an older guy that is pretty healthy and fit, and you don't have any medication or a doctor. I'm like, yes, well, weirdly, if you just do what we're doing, you're going to get that. And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm here for. I want to be harder to kill. And thank you, Nick, for giving me that. You will definitely be harder to kill and easier to love. So my peers that are 50, they're like, yeah, I'm going in for that 50-year anniversary checkup and things aren't great. And so we end up having conversations. That's awesome. I post stuff. I really don't care for social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. But I put it on there. Let me see if I can pull this up so I can see it and you can see it. Okay, I don't know how to log into my own stuff on my computer, but so there's a cool one for Aaron. So here I am doing a little lift, and actually, oh darn it, it doesn't say. It used to say, maybe it's only on my phone. So it's had down here at the bottom, like 300 people had watched it, and it's only been like 24 hours. So do I care to show myself doing this thing? No, not really. I don't really care. I'm a relatively private guy. But I know at 50, most of my friends are on Facebook, and I do it shares between Instagram, and they're going to see this. And I have every once in a while somebody text me or Facebook app me or whatever the hell you call that, and ask, hey, dude, it's been a long time. Here's where I'm at. I need some help. I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. Usually it involves like, hey, don't do stupid stuff, and then let's find you a CrossFit gym near you, right? But I don't know, this video, which, I put out the other day, had like 300 watches on it, so I guess I could pull it up on my phone and look to see if it's changed. Let me go look. Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. It's got 759 plays. I don't even know 759 people. That's not true. I got like 1,500 people that I'm supposedly friends with on Facebook. So, hey, friends. But no, it is not making me viral. And no, I'm not trying to be the Liver King or Beef Max guy or whatever those people are. I just want to help my friends out, right? So all I care about is the few people that I care about. I really don't care. No, I'm not trying to monetize any of this. I've got, so let's see, we've been doing this podcast for a year and a half and there's 11,000 downloads. So is that good? I have no idea. Some videos or some podcasts are up to like a couple hundred listens. Some are still down in like the 30s. Whatever, I don't know why. I just hope it helps people, right? So I want to help them. I want to meet them where they're at. I can meet some of you guys on the phone, so I do. There was a YouTube one I did. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, I think it was a short. Let me see how that works. Let me pause you and find it. Yeah, so YouTube short, exact same video. This says it's got 10,000 views. Probably, I don't know if that's really 10,000 or it's just like pretend 10,000. I don't know how you tell. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not good enough on these tools to actually know
him into the deadlift.
How to make it work.
This is the first time some
So
of them have ever
I wish I was better, but I'm not. But point is, so 10,000 people watched that. A couple of people commented. Somebody, YouTube messaged me or whatever and said, hey, can you help me? I'm like, yeah, sure. Does it happen a lot? No. But even one person helped is better than nothing. And that's part of our like credo for the gym. We are happy, humble, helpful people. If I'm going to be helpful, I literally need to help people. So yeah, I enjoy doing that. I want to help people. Okay. I've got a friend. They're not in shape. I'm going down this road. How do I help? Let's first go with spouse. There's probably nobody you love more than your own spouse. For my members, dude, just tell me, bring them in, and I will be there to walk them through a class and to handhold them so it's super awesome and fun. I want them to be successful. I want your spouse to live a long time. So I am here for your spouse. Your significant other, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I am here for them. If you have a kid, this can be a little bit different. If they are in high school, I would be okay bringing them into class as long as I'm with them. Sometimes high schoolers are jackasses and I don't really want to work with them. Other times I listen really well, especially when it's not your parent. And I'm okay with that. So let's talk and I'll bring them in and I'll handle them. If they're younger than that, I'd probably rather them do summer strength because that's what it's there for. We're doing that right now so you can get them into class even if they're late. It's okay. Not late as in like they show up late, but we just started it on June 3rd. So when you listen to this, it will not be June 3rd. Bring them in anyway, whatever, we'll get them started, and then maybe they can get into class. I typically don't have middle schoolers in class with us unless they've done summer strength, so you'll see Oliver in class, but seriously, if you know Oliver, he's like the most mature. Oliver, I don't know how old you are. You have to be at least, let's see, I know you're under 16 because your sister Neve is the same age as Olivia because they played in soccer, or Evie because they played soccer together, so they're 15. Which makes you probably 2 years younger, so you're probably 13. So I did math there. And if your dad is listening to this, Alan, you ready for this? It's Abra, Neve, Oliver, Oren, and Stella. Stella? Oh man, I blew it. I almost had them all. I think it's Estelle. Yeah. We have another friend that is Stella. I think, different. Anyway, I still have them. You have a great family. Anyway. I am happy to work with them. The younger ones, it's a little bit difficult, but Oliver is an exception. He's done summer strength twice, and he's in class, and he's a champ. And he moves really well. He's doing great. Some of you guys have kids like that. That's totally awesome. We'll work them up. We could do some personal training during the year and get them in there, but I would really suggest summer strength. It gives us basically 2 months to really help them out. So that's your friends and your family. Welcome to bring them in. If you can't get them here, there's somebody else and you want to use a tip or a tactic, man, pass them one of these podcasts. Say, hey, I thought you'd like this. This idiot that I know has been off of sugar for 10 years. Take a listen. And maybe they'll listen to some other stuff. Or maybe connect us and I could help them out. Hey, my buddy just got diagnosed with pre-diabetic. What should we do? I mean, let's talk. It's not that difficult. Many of the things we do aren't difficult at all. It's just not easy. You have to change your structure. You have to change your routine. Just like my daughter is finding out, hey, I got to work 10 hours a day, 4 days a week at this job. I mean, yeah, that's what adults do. Weird, right? So it's not difficult. Just show up and do it. But it's not easy either, right? Then the next step is do something that they're interested in, and maybe not 3, 2, 1, go it, but put a time priority or a distance priority or something that you can be like, hey, let's go push the kids around for an hour and see how it goes, or down the trail and back and see how it goes. And that way you can look at the difference between what you're doing. Or I have a great one, my buddy Glenn Gruschow, he's like, hey, Andy, I'm between jobs at the moment. I got to start my next one in a week. I want to go climb Blood Mountain today or tomorrow. Do you want to do that? I'm like, oh, dude, I am really good with being spontaneous if you allow me to plan it. So, all right, I think I can plan that. Let me rearrange some stuff. And we went and climbed Blood Mountain. I did good. He did good. He's like, hey, that was really fun. He does a lot of movement. I do a lot of movement. Great, right? He does more distance stuff and eating, and I do CrossFit. So they're always surprised when CrossFit actually pans out. The guy I race with most of the time, Eddie, he's always amazed that, hey, I do the normal training and you just do that stupid crap. And yet here we are racing together doing about the same pace. He is a little bit fitter, faster, and trained in those disciplines. So yes, he does a better job at the sport, but he also trains for the sport. I just train to be harder to kill. So go in it easy when you talk to your people. Create an example, create hyperbole, create a scenario to talk about. Find a thing that they're interested in. Like, it could be anything. Hey, I hear you're into canning vegetables. Great. Let's go somewhere and can together. Let's can for an hour and do it fast. Let's can for time. And they're going to realize, oh, wow, they can can really good, and I'm canning slowly. I don't know what really is involved in canning. I'm just saying you can turn anything into a 3, 2, 1, go and have some sort of measurable or have some sort of this is what my body's like and your body's like. And I think that's valuable. And I think that's going to help show them the difference. Probably the bigger thing is get them to do something with you. That something could be CrossFit. Go find a gym somewhere. Oh, that's a great one. Go see your friend and be like, hey, I'm stopping in. I do CrossFit. Come do a CrossFit drop in with me. I'll stay with you and guide you through the workout so that they won't know that you don't know what you're doing. Now they've gone to a gym to do your thing. I think that would be awesome. We had a new guy, Seth, come in. Seth, hope you're listening. He's on vacation right now, but he's got an exercise science degree and he does the normal hypertrophy style lifting. So he's not bodybuilding, but that back, bi, chest, and tri legs, right? The 3 days of rotation. And so he's interested in CrossFit and he's interested in coaching. It's like, hey, the first thing we need to do is get you some classes so you can see what's going on. Trust me in this, go easy. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll believe you. You seem to know what you're talking about. He went out on a limb and said, all right, I'll trust you. The first thing he did was, it was kettlebell, V-ups, and the other thing, whatever the other thing was, I forgot. And was it lunges? No, it wasn't lunges. Row? Maybe it was row. I don't know. And so he did the red kettlebell. I'm like, hey, good choice. And I could tell the way he's swinging it, it's too light for him, but he's stuck with it. The next day he comes back, he's like, I think that was a Friday. He came back on Monday and he's like, man, I am wrecked. And I thought I took it easy. I'm like, CrossFit does that to you. He's like, yeah, I love the way it feels. And I'm a little bit humbled by how much it destroyed me. I'm like, yeah, it's just a different feeling. You're still really strong. You're going to move things really good. It's just different. It's a different way to exercise. So it's like eating black licorice. I hate it, but it was kind of fun, right? Kind of good. So he's going to be coming back when he gets back from vacation, do some more workouts with us. Super strong, moved really well. We did power cleans the next day, and he took instruction really well. But anyway, the point there is, even if you are doing stuff and fit, CrossFit is going to impact you in a different way. So bringing them into a class with you somewhere else, make sure you go easy with them. Don't try to crush them. Unless it's somebody you want me to crush, you can tell them, hey, when I bring in Timmy, crush him. I'm like, all right. So that is not the best way to get people interested in being healthy and fit, but you know your friend better than I would know him, so I would do whatever it is. Like, I know that, like, let's say CJ brought Nathan and Jared into the gym, and those guys want to crush it. They don't want to go easy. They listen, which is great, but they always lean towards, let's make this thing hurt. I'm like, all right, let's do it. But CJ knows them, and they know their body, and this is what they want, and they're young, and they can actually bounce back way faster than I would. Okay, guys, if you're here local, we're here in Woodstock. We're across from Black Rifle Coffee, across the street-ish from First Baptist Woodstock Church, the big church on 92. We are here to help you. Our group of people leans more towards we want to be harder to kill than I want to go to the CrossFit Games. We do push each other, but not crazy like that. It is funny, I took Evan to get some blood work done, and he was next to a CrossFit-like gym. So I was like, hey, I heard you yell 3, 2, 1, go. I just popped my head in. And so me and the owner were talking, and he's like, isn't it funny? I took the word CrossFit out of my business, and we're doing much better. I'm like, it is weird. I don't know why the word CrossFit makes people nervous. He's doing the exact same damn thing. He just doesn't call it CrossFit. Maybe not the exact same thing. I was watching, I was like, oh, I so want to go in there and crack some people's movement. They're going to hurt themselves. So it's different, and it's not as much coachy, but it's just funny. You take the word CrossFit out and people will go to it. You put word CrossFit in there and they're a little bit nervous. I don't know why. CrossFit it is the best thing I've ever found for my body, and it's ultimately scalable and infinitely modifiable. It's beautiful. If you're local, come to us. If you're not local, I'm happy to help you. Email me, andy@crossfitgarage.com. This is a podcast that I do. This is also a YouTube video that I do. Podcast, you can find us currently. The name is CF Garage with Andy McCann. I'll probably change the name to not fun. I'll change it to Fitness, Food, and Finance, probably. And then on YouTube, what is it? I think it's @Andy McCann 42, and you can find the videos there. All right, guys, y'all take care. Stay safe.